Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I'm crafting with This Calls for Confetti, and this release sold like hotcakes when it first came out. I think it actually sold out once, maybe even twice. So I'm super stoked that I get to craft with it. So big thank you to This Calls for Confetti, who is a super sponsor of Kendra's Card Challenge 17. They have kindly sent some of our design team members some products to craft with and share inspiration with you. So to see even more inspiration featuring This Calls for Confetti and KCC 17, expand the description box below and you'll find a playlist where all of our videos have been collected. And so I'm gonna start off by stamping out my own background because this stamp set has a lot of little hearts. And initially what I was thinking I would do was stamp from top to bottom, but I figure that's one gonna be slower because I'm gonna be switching colors a lot more and switching stamps a lot more, and two, I don't think overall it would have yielded a very nice effect. So instead what I did was taking the largest heart, I stamped one color across the entire panel, and that way I could really focus on making sure that that color is super spread out evenly. And then I could move on to the next color. And when I was done with that size heart, then I just moved on down the line from large to small. And that way I can just fill in the gaps all the time, kind of keeping in mind that I want to evenly distribute both the color of the ink that I'm stamping with, as well as trying to keep sort of even spacing throughout so that it doesn't look too dense in some areas and too open in other areas. So I think overall, keeping an eye on the bigger picture, it's easier to do this way, where you just take one stamp and then you kind of fill it in, and then work yourself down to smaller and smaller stamps, because the smaller you get, it's easier to kind of fill in some of those gaps and openings. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's nice to just try to look at the big picture of things. I think if I'd worked top down, it probably would not be very evenly distributed. And the other thing that I find really helpful is to stamp right off the edge so that it looks like this might have been some pattern paper that I just cut down. And so where I'm going to use this is on sketch number 9 from KCC 17. And in fact, I'm actually kind of inverting the sketch a little bit. So where the sketch shows that we should be using pattern paper, I'm going to actually use solid color cardstock instead. And then where it shows an embossed panel, I am going to use this pattern paper that I've made myself from this amazing little stamp set. So the color palette that I'm crafting with is a little bit foreign to me, but I am trying hard to explore different colors, explore different combinations of colors, because if I'm left to my own devices, I'm always going to pick teal and pink or teal and purple. So the blue and purple that I just stamped out, that felt really comfortable to do, but throwing this green into the mix just feels really foreign to me, and I felt really uncomfortable with it as I was making the card. But when I looked at the final card, it grows on me quite a bit, and I do like how it ended. But it was really quite a challenge to craft with this color combination, because I'm just not very used to using this color combination. So the purple and blue I know I've crafted with, blue and green I've crafted with. What I've come to realize is that I often craft with colors in pairs and not often as sets of 3 or more. And so that might be part of the discomfort for me. But I had a lot of fun doing it. And as you can see, I'm kind of making this sketch my own. And you always have the freedom and flexibility to do that when you're playing along with Kendra's card challenge. And if you're new to the card challenge, what it is a fun card sketch challenge where you can enter to win some amazing prizes from our prize sponsors and super sponsors like This Calls for Confetti. If you expand the description box below, you'll find a link to where you can download the free PDF file. And the first 3 pages of the file, you'll see a cutting guide. The cutting guide shows you exactly how to cut 6 sheets of 6x6 pattern papers, and then the next 3 pages will show you 15 unique card sketches using all of those pieces that you just cut. So if you follow along with the challenge and the cutting guide, then you're gonna end up with 15 cards and 0 scraps, which is awesome. It's always really nice to end a crafty session having no scraps left over. So I really, really love that. And in particular, it makes good use of all of your beautiful pattern papers. And so it's a really fun challenge, and not only can you win some amazing prizes, but I really feel like it's a valuable resource on its own, even beyond the challenge. So you're gonna have, as I mentioned, 15 unique card sketches, which I think is just, a really lovely library, especially if you have played along with KCC for a while. You have this really lovely library of card sketches, and so anytime you feel like you are looking for some new ideas, looking to maybe break out of a creative rut, it's nice to go back to these card sketches and maybe just pick one at random, and that helps you to at least start the creative process. And that's why I always find card sketches really valuable and useful as a crafty tool. So if you do want to play along, every card sketch challenge runs for 3 months, and we are currently in KCC 17, which runs from January 1st to March 31st. And if you're watching this at the time that this video is coming out, you still have time to enter for the month of February, and then you can enter again in the month of March, because not only does this challenge give you plenty of time, because you have 3 months to complete a set of 15 cards, but if you are a crafter who likes to make a lot of cards, maybe to sell at craft fairs or maybe to donate to charitable organizations, then you can actually enter up to once per month. Now, when you enter, what you'll want to do is create a full set of 15 cards. Take a photo, a single photo that shows all 15 of your cards, and then upload that to the link party. And there'll be a link to where you can find that, as well as there are QR codes in the printable that you can scan, and that would also take you to the link party. And so it's really fabulous to be able to see all of the amazing entries and all of the creativity from our community. Really loads of fun to see the showcase video at the end of each month as well. And so I'm always really inspired by everybody else's projects. And I know a lot of folks on the design team get very creative with these card sketches and turn them into fun, interactive, or fun-filled cards even. So you don't have to just look at these sketches as just various mats and layers, but you can get even more creative with them and make them interactive, make them fun folds. As long as the spirit of the sketch is there, you don't necessarily have to follow everything exactly. And you don't also have to pick out 6 sheets of 6x6 pattern paper and follow the cutting guide. You could just make each of the 15 cards individually. And a lot of times that's what I prefer, especially because a lot of the sketches you'll find don't actually require large pieces of pattern paper. And so many of these sketches are great scrap busters. And so it's really good to maybe look at each sketch and see if you have some scraps left over from another crafty session that you can maybe use. And so I love that a lot of submissions to the challenge every month are beautiful and coordinated, and I can tell that they follow the cutting guide because they've used pattern papers from the same paper pad collection, for example. But I also really love whenever somebody submits some cards that are more just individual, because these sketches you could totally make your own. You can, as I mentioned, use your scraps for them. You can adjust them. So some of them might show as portrait orientation, but you could change it to a landscape orientation. So I really love when folks kind of take the core of the sketch and then just run with it. So there's my card, and I really love how it turned out. It's a new and different color palette for me, but it's definitely growing on me. Don't forget to expand the description box below. There's going to be a giveaway link for a digital prize from Kendra, and as well you'll find the playlist link where you can see even more inspiration from our super sponsor, This Calls for Confetti, featuring KCC17. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.